I refuse to let my cousin's kids come to my Halloween party because they ruined last year's party. My cousin Ellen texted me last night at 11 p.m. The kids are so excited to be vampires at your party tomorrow. I nearly dropped my phone. I never invited her kids, not after what happened last year. For context, I've hosted an elaborate Halloween party for the past 5 years. It's my thing. I spend months planning the decorations, curating the perfect playlist, and mixing signature cocktails. My friends look forward to it all year. Last October, Ellen called me crying because her babysitter canceled last minute. Please, I haven't been out in months. The twins will behave, I promise. They're better now. Against my better judgment, I said yes. I mean, how bad could a couple of 7-year-olds be? Catastrophic, as it turns out. Within 20 minutes of arriving, they were running laps around my apartment. Ellen just sipped her drink and chatted, completely oblivious. The first disaster happened when they decided to play hot lava and jumped from my couch to my antique coffee table. The table, a 200-year-old family heirloom my grandmother left me, collapsed under their weight. Ellen barely looked up. Kids will be kids, she shrugged. An hour later, I found them in my bedroom dumping out my makeup collection onto my white bedspread. We're doing monster makeup, they announced proudly, covered in my $50 foundation. While I was cleaning up the makeup disaster, they somehow got into the Halloween candy I had set aside for trick-or-treaters. They not only devoured most of it, but also fed several chocolate bars to my dog, Pepper. By midnight, Pepper was violently ill. I had to leave my own party to rush her to the emergency vet. The bill? $600. When I returned home at 3 a.m., exhausted and worried about Pepper, I discovered one of the twins had gotten sick and vomited directly into my fish tank. My prize betta fish, the one I'd raised from a tiny fry, was floating at the top the next morning. Ellen's response to all this destruction? They were overtired. You shouldn't have so many breakable things if you're going to invite children. I didn't invite children. She invited them. So this year I sent beautifully designed invitations with adults only, written in bold Gothic lettering at the top. I even called Ellen specifically to make sure she understood. She seemed fine with it at the time. Yet here we were the night before my party, and she'd forgotten that crucial detail. I typed back, "Sorry, Ellen, no kids allowed. Remember what happened last year? My apartment still hasn't recovered." Her response appeared instantly. They were just being children. Besides, I already bought their costumes and told them they're going to Aunt Katie's spooky party. You wouldn't disappoint kids on Halloween, would you? That's just cruel. Actually, I would. And I wasn't about to let emotional manipulation ruin another Halloween. Instead of arguing further, I had a better idea. My neighbor Mike works as a professional clown for children's parties. But here's the thing about Mike. He's 6'4", covered in tattoos, and has this naturally intense stare. Kids are terrified of him, despite his best efforts to be friendly. I called Mike and explained my situation. He laughed and agreed to help for $200 and unlimited access to my Halloween punch. The next evening, as my adult guests began arriving, Mike took up his position on my front porch. He wore his standard clown costume, but with blood splatters added to his white makeup, and carried a sign that read, "Adults only party. Children will be entertained by me on the porch." At exactly 7:30 p.m., Ellen's minivan pulled into my driveway. I watched through the window as she parked and started unloading her vampire twins. Then she spotted Mike, sitting eerily still on my porch swing, slowly twisting a balloon animal while staring directly at her car. The look on her face was priceless. She frantically rolled up the car windows and locked the doors. The twins were pressing their faces against the glass, their vampire makeup now streaked with tears. Ellen reversed so quickly she knocked over my mailbox in her escape. My phone lit up with a furious text. "What kind of sick joke is this?" I simply replied, "Adults only means adults only. Enjoy your evening." The party was perfect. No broken heirlooms, no emergency vet visits, and not a single fish was harmed. Mike turned out to be the hit of the party. He makes incredible balloon martini glasses. Ellen hasn't spoken to me since, but several family members have thanked me privately. Apparently, I'm not the first victim of her kids will be kids parenting style.